What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Sweat It Out podcast.
If you want to be successful, look inside.
We don't like sitting in the discomfort.
Then all of a sudden that day came when I got $20 and 2 free drinks to do a show, and I was like, oh shit, here we go, baby. You know?
Thank God she hasn't caught a chicken yet because she'll tear her head off.
Don't be soft.
That patience is key.
If all my friends are winning, then it's going to make me want to win more.
Ooh, what is up, guys? Today, we are extremely excited to announce, to bring on one of my personally, I don't know about Josh's, but one of my personally athletes who plays for one of my favorite teams. This guy's a tremendous workhorse, athlete, leader. Please help us welcome the one and only Myles Gaskin. What's up, brother?
What's going on, y'all? Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, man, appreciate you coming on, brother. How you been?
Been great. I've been great. Just getting back here. Got to see a little bit of family, but getting back to work, getting ready for this season, man. It's a huge season, man.
That's it, man. I know. I'm excited personally as a Dolphin fan, man. I'm extremely excited, just with all the moves that you guys have made, and just seeing the development of where you guys are going as a young team as well, and seeing the potential there is. So I'm excited to watch you guys play, man.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Coming in my rookie year, we was like supposed to be the worst NFL team of all time. To be last year to have 10 wins, I mean, it's kind of came full circle. Just very excited to see what happens next.
So what do you feel has been the biggest growth for you guys, and you personally as well, from that first season as a rookie to your second season and now going in personally and as a team?
From myself personally, just humbling myself to when I first came in, I didn't play until week 10, I don't think. And coming from college, I've been a man since my freshman year. I started as a freshman my second game. So I had to humble myself to kind of learn behind other dudes, watch other dudes, and put in the work that I knew nobody was going to see. But it was proving it to myself that when my time came, I was going to be more than ready. I was going to be there and never look back. Just having to do that was probably my hugest thing. I had to talk to my dad about it and stuff like that. Just kind of, it is a shot at your ego, especially like I said, when you've been a man since you've been 7 years old, since I've really stepped foot on a football field. But and then for the team, I think we bought into how Flo coaches, how Flo wants his team to look, and just a whole bunch of tough, gritty guys that like to be in the building, and just kind of when you have a lot of guys that think similar, I think it's hard to beat a team like that. I mean, talent's all over the NFL, but when guys think together or think similar and work hard and believe in one another, when you can turn your back and know your boy is doing his job, you ain't got to worry about that. I think that's what it has evolved into from our rookie year to, I guess, my sophomore year, the NFL, and now going into my third year.
Yeah, and, I don't care what anybody says, but football is by far the ultimate team sport, for sure, without a doubt.
100%.
But on that individual level, right, you talked about, having to kind of remove that ego a little bit so that you can learn from those vets, right, and really, get the ropes, because the speed is different. I used to, coach. I was a strength coach and was able to, be in the weight room with a ton of collegiate football players at Syracuse and when I was getting my master's at FAU. And, it was something we always had to remind the guys, it's like at the high school level, you might have been the man, but now you're here. The talent level is different, and making that jump from college to the NFL is even a bigger jump, right? Like you said, everybody is great, right? Everybody was the best on their team, So what learning lessons did you really, absorb having to learn from those veterans and having to, kind of remove some of the ego while also keeping some of it there, right? Because you got to have that confidence in yourself to
Absolutely.
go out there and believe you can get the job done. So, kind of share some of your experiences on that and what you really learned over that rookie season.
So like I said, my rookie season, I had to put in a lot of work, kind of behind the scenes. When guys was getting ready for the game on Friday and Saturday, going over the last installments, I wasn't even on the field. I was up in the stands or I was at home like that. Or I actually did travel to all the games. I did travel to all the games, but I didn't have no helmet on. I didn't have no shoulder pads, so I was putting in work on Friday, Saturday, and then sometimes Sunday after the game, just to put in that work, just to know that myself, like, hey, I might not be out there on Sunday with all the pads, but I'm gonna play my game. I'm gonna make sure I'm right. Stuff like that, and just being able to say, hey, like, it's not for anybody else. It's not to be, oh, I want to be the starting running back tomorrow. It's like, hey, I want to be the best possible version of me without worrying about what coaches think of me, without worrying about what fans think of me or anything like that. Because I remember when I wasn't playing, I had a lot of people telling me, like, hey, bro, like, why aren't you playing? You're better than that. Or, man, damn, like, you don't think you can last in the league, or asking me all types of crazy things like that. And I just kind of put that all on the back burner, just proving it to myself. That's the one thing I learned the most. It's not about anybody else. It's not about proving it to anybody else. It's really what limits you can push yourself to, and test yourself every single day. And that's what I learned the most my rookie year. And going into my second year, I took those same attributes I learned and was able to capitalize on it my second year. And even a little bit at the end of my rookie year, I did play well. I got hurt in the second to last game, but I saw where my work was being able to be seen more from other people's view, but also mine. Like, when I was able to step in the game, I was a lot faster. I was a lot quicker. I knew defenses. I knew things like that. It wasn't always just working on my body. It was working on my mental of the game, because definitely when you come to the league, you don't, or at least when I was in the league, when I came into the league, I didn't know, like, football that well. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know the X's and O's. I knew just, hey, run to the right, outside zone, inside zone, hey, make a couple dudes miss, score, and stuff like that, you know? But I was able to learn that. I was able to test my brain and my body, so I think that was the biggest thing, for sure.
So I think there's two things here. Like, you know, I really loved how you mentioned, you know, you've been hearing all the people say, like, hey, you're better, like, why aren't you playing? Or, you know, when you're going to get in there. How do you cancel that noise from people telling you from outside, this is what it is, why aren't you doing this? Or how do you cancel that noise for yourself? Especially an athlete at your level where, yeah, that could get to your head. You know, how do you work on that?
For myself, I just understand that I know that most people don't know football, first and foremost. Like, I'm not listening to average Joe talk about football. And then secondly, just at the end of the day, it's you versus you in how I look at things. It's not like when I'm done playing football, or when I'm ever done playing after a game or whatever it may be, it's like, hey, I'm gonna sit down with myself. I ain't worried about what other people are saying. I'm not worried about nobody else's opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at the end of the day, I gotta look myself in the eye and say, hey, did I do everything I could do? And if I did, I mean, I'm not worried about nobody else, what everybody else is talking about, because shoot, the only person I'm living with, only skin I'm in is mine.
Yep, 100%.
You know, it truly is. In order for you to reach that full potential, you know, that we all have as human beings, you gotta be able to block out that noise, right? You gotta be able to, you know, silence the doubters, because like you mentioned, they don't matter, right? At the end of the day, like, you gotta go and you gotta put forth everything that you have into each and every day. And as a professional athlete, you know, it's a whole nother level, because everybody's eyes are on you, you know, at all times. Coaches, I mean, I don't think people really realize how many cameras are going on during practices. You know, I mean,
never lie.
I mean, they'll see you picking your nose on the sideline. You know, even hey, how come you were picking your nose and you weren't watching, you know, the other guys on the field trying to pick up on some of those cues and everything.
Taking mental reps.
Yeah, exactly. All about the mental reps, man, for sure. You know, could you I think our audience would really, you know, get a lot of benefit from hearing about learning how you guys, you know, at the professional ranks really learn the X's and O's. You know, how studying film really changes the dynamic of your performance on the field, right? Because, you know, I used to hear from my cousins all the time. They never played a snap of football in their entire life. Never. But the second they pick up one of those controllers and start playing Madden, they'd be like, oh, man, you got to have this game plan. I'm like, will you shut the fuck up? Like, you have no clue what you're talking about. You know, like, you got to stop trying to be the head coach. You know, you're not Nick Saban over here playing NCAA football anymore. You know, like, this is real football. we got to really get the, we got to have the mentality behind it. We got to understand what we're doing here. Can you kind of dive into, how you guys really go about the process of learning football, learning about the game, right, on the professional level?
And also, too, just to add in real quick, the fact that a lot of people will watch the sport and be like, well, they're just going out there and playing. And it's like, no, there's a lot more to it. And I think that, like Josh said,
I've been
really
in those meeting rooms. Fuck yeah,
dude,
there's a lot.
diving into that to really make people realize, like in anything, entrepreneurship, business, or company you work for, like the amount of work you have to do to be able to show up as your best. It's not about just going out there and throwing a ball and running with a ball and playing football. There's a lot of technique. There's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of implementation behind the scenes that people don't know about, and they don't realize how hard that is. And, like Josh said, to walk us through that would be amazing.
So for me, when I started like really gravitating to learning the football game, learning the X and O's part, just having that extra knowledge going on in the field when I'm in the backfield, standing next to the quarterback, and I see a safety rotating down, and we've been studying it all week, and this means maybe 1 to 2 or 3 things. And if I can just know if it's like the third quarter and he's been telling me basically he's been rotating down, and maybe it's a blitz, or maybe he's just been bluffing out of it. Maybe it changes my run angles. Maybe it changes my run. Maybe it changes my release to get to my route. It changes a lot of things. And that's why I think the exit of the O's has helped me a lot. Just having that little bit more of knowing what's going to happen. Obviously, football in my position, everybody's position on football is a lot of reaction. So as soon as the ball snapped, everything could go to hell. But just having that, usually, I'd say like 99% of the time, obviously. But it just gives you that where you can be more sure of what you're about to do or how you're going to set somebody up. And that could be the difference between, like, for me, a 5-yard loss or a touchdown or a huge first down or something like that, a big game. And, I mean, in this league, it's all performance-based. So that's why it's important. And just going in every week, man, you come in the preparation for a game is ridiculous. You come in, you got this install, and we're gonna run this on this situation. We're gonna run this in that situation. And if we get in this situation or we see this type of coverage, we're out of that. Or a Tua can change the play. Or when Fitz was there, Fitz would change the play just at the line. So you gotta be fully aware. Like, there's never just, hey, I'm about to just run on this straight line. I feel like people watch Madden and dudes run on straight lines and stuff like that. And I mean, it's a video game, but I mean, in real life, like
unless you have Michael Vick back in the
07 Michael Vick
wasn't it the 04?
No, I think
was it 04?
I don't
remember, but it was I think it was 04. It was the Michael Vick with the Falcons. You can literally do anything.
As long as you bootlegged, it was over. It was over.
Yeah, he's the exception. But yeah, just like that. But like, you just can't. You can't really relax. You can't be like, oh, I got this. And once you get to the line and you're stuck in your mode, or I'm running on a straight line, I'm gonna run a go, or I'm gonna run a 5-yard knee, and I'm just running on a straight line, stuff like that. Like, you can look at the quarterback and he's give you some hands and have you run across the field. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if you stick to that play that you was thinking you're gonna run, man, you're gonna get cussed out and you're gonna get yanked out the game. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a lot.
So Myles, you mentioned about knowing these plays and knowing these changes and these shifts and these stuff when the quarterback calls them out. How do you guys as pro athletes, how do you retain this information? Like, do you guys have tools, exercises that you get, that they teach you to be able to hold this information and retain it, so when this does present itself, you know what to do instantly? So
I'm not like the biggest tech guy. I'm still on flashcards, man. So I go flashcards for everything. I write everything out. I feel like, I know it's true. Just writing things down helps you retain things better. So that's always been my thing. Even when I was in school, if I had a big test or something like that, I treat it just like a school. Flashcards. I'll do the flashcards one way, then flip them. That's how I usually do them, to really get it. If you like turn them back around, whatever the play is, or if you see the play, or like say it's like the answer, and then you got to say what the play is, stuff like that. Just being able to know things to a T, where it's like it's second nature. And it won't be second nature on Tuesday or Wednesday, but by the time Sunday comes, if you've really been in your book, if you've really been studying like you should be, you can spit it out. You can break the huddle and be exactly where you need to be, know the shifts, know the motions, know the audibles, know everything like that. So I mean, it's definitely a process because coming in on Wednesday, actually it's Wednesday. Coming on Wednesdays, it looks like, God damn, how are we gonna know all this stuff? But if you take it section by section, day by day, by the time Sunday come out, you gonna be straight.
And how many hours a day do you put into this, to learning this?
That's a loaded question, man. We be at the facility from like 7 to 7.
Nah, people don't
understand, man.
Yeah, people don't really realize.
Lunch and dinner. Yeah, so I mean, and then you gotta take it home. And then I take it home. I actually just painted my one of my walls whiteboard cover, like the whiteboard paint, so I can write plays in my house.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I take it home, and I got a desk that's a whiteboard, so stuff like that. I try when the football season is going. Obviously, you got to take breaks from whatever you may do. But for me, when the football season ends, I'll take a step away for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. But when the football season is going on, I try and fully immerse myself in it. So like everything I look at and everything I'm doing is football related. So I don't like step away from it too much. And I've always enjoyed football. I love the game of football. I mean, I think I'll always be around the game of football. So maybe that's why it's so easy for me to do that. So.
And how do you block out those distractions, right, that come up through the preseason, even in the off season, right? But definitely in season, you know, people obviously trying to grab a lot of your attention and
definitely is Miami.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Listen,
what we say. That's why we bring it up.
I would say this is definitely across the board. I don't care what profession you're in, right? Like if you can succeed here in Miami, like you are a mentally resilient motherfucker. You know.
Facts. It's different. Coming from Seattle, Washington to here, it is different. I've always wanted to be the best. I've always wanted to be a professional football player, and I've always wanted to be the best possible football I've ever wanted to be since I put on a helmet. And I mean, when it comes to girls partying, distractions, friends, whatever it may be, they all take a backseat to football. And if they can't, I mean, I just don't fuck with them. Like it's that simple. I tell people that all the time, and the people that I love obviously know that. Girls always have a hard time understanding that from time to time, but it is what it is. But you just gotta. I think you got to set boundaries for, especially in the profession I'm in. It's pretty much like 6 months on, kind of ish, like, and then 6 months off. So like you do have time to travel and step away. But when I'm fully immersed in it, I'm not hearing nothing else except football.
And how do you set those boundaries for yourself? Like, what is it that you do? What tools you use? Because look, we can use these tools for anything in life, right? Setting boundaries in your relationships, in your partnerships, and whatever it is that you're doing. How do you set your boundaries when it comes to your friends, family, acquaintances? How do you put those things in place? And then not only that, but how do you honor your boundaries?
I just tell them what it is. Like when I first got down here, a good example. When I first got down here, everybody thought it was like, oh, we're going to Miami and it's a party. Like I'm gonna come visit you and stuff like that. And like on draft night, oh yeah, we're gonna be partying in Miami. But when I got down here, it's like, hell nah, bro. Like stay where you at. And if you do come down here, get yourself a hotel. Like, like just to be honest, like I just think I have a dream. I have an idea of myself and where I want to be, and I'm not going to sacrifice that for anybody. Not for anybody. I mean, like, I love my family, and they know that. And it's never came to that with my family, but friends and stuff like that, I have no problem with it. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you ain't going to be out there with me when dudes trying to knock my head off, and you ain't out there, you ain't in the gym with me, you ain't doing tons of things that I'm doing. You just want to live it up for a weekend when that could cost me whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what that could cost you. But at the end of the day, is a weekend or is a night or it's just having a fun, like weekend or a night, is it really worth it? I was in college before, like it's all the same.
Yeah. I love how you approach that because I'm a huge guy. Like I look at the things and I'm like especially a decision of like going out here or doing what I need to do. It's like, does this align with my vision? Yes or no? Does this align with my vision? Yes or no? Does me getting in this car and going here align with my vision?
He's
yes
like a fucking horse during the Kentucky Derby, dude. Just like blinders on.
Hey, that's how it should be. Tunnel vision.
You know, and I think when you can set those boundaries, right, that's really when you can tap into how successful you truly can become, right? And I feel like the people who really want to be around you, right, who really want to support you, they're going to respect those boundaries, you know, and they're going to help. They're going to help you make sure that you honor those boundaries, right? 100%. And the people who don't, you know, they're going to show their true colors. You know, maybe not right away, but eventually, like you said, you know, draft night, everyone's hyped, everybody's ready to go. But people start to show their true colors, especially, you know, the more success you find, the more playing time you get, the more money you make, you know, coming up, you know, probably getting your second contract here, you know, in a year or so. And that's really when you're going to get to find the people who are really in your corner, right?
And that's when you really can start molding the friends that you want in your circle, right? The people you want, right? You know how they say, like, your same friends from a few years ago are not the same ones moving forward, right? Because of those reasons, you know the ones that are going to help you build and the ones that are not, you know, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to love them any less, but it just means I cannot be around or hang out with you like we used to because I am building, you know, I am building.
Exactly, for sure. I feel that 100%. I mean, you just kind of, if you find yourself hanging out a lot, it's what are you doing? You just hanging out. That's exactly what it is. And I mean, some people are happy with that. Just not me. I think you got to exhaust yourself every day. I got two parents that work extremely hard. I got an older brother that works extremely hard, and that's probably where it's definitely where I get my work ethic from. And I've seen my parents exhaust themselves every single day to be able to provide, and then two, to be great parents. And I think that was the biggest thing that kind of affected me just as a football player and as a young man growing up right now and becoming like a grown man. Like, you got to exhaust yourself. And at times, like, I feel like people want to take a break or, oh, I'm so tired. Yes, there's obviously times you take vacation, you take breaks, but I feel like people always want to reward themselves after like a day or something. Like, oh, I did a workout, or I've been working out for a week. I need to take a break. It's like, like, did you really do anything? Like, yeah, you worked out for a week or whatever it may be, but like, did you really accomplish what you said you did? Like, don't take a break until you finish, till you finish to the finish line, and then even then, it's like, shit. Now we're like, what's next?
That's right. That's absolutely right. So, speaking about wins and breaks, like, what for you? What is the biggest goal that you want to achieve personally for yourself this year? You know, being an athlete, being a player for the Dolphins personally, and then as a team, what are those biggest goals that you want to achieve?
Personally, I want to bring like 1,700 yards all purpose as a running back, receiving, running, whatever it may be. But 1,700 yards, I want to put up numbers this year. I want to set the goal as high as I possibly can and chase it. Like I said, I believe in myself. I've always believed in myself. And I mean, shit, you don't want to set the bar low. You want to go after it if you believe in yourself. Then as a team, shit, make the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, man.
Fuck yeah, bring that shit to Miami.
But I mean, it takes it every day. But absolutely, we want to work hard, win games. I mean, what else is? I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's team sport, and we love each other at the end of the day. But what makes it fun is winning games. That's everybody know that.
And I definitely want to see a Dolphins Super Bowl in my lifetime.
If you guys win the Super Bowl, he's never going to shut the fuck up. I mean, I couldn't tell you how much Dolphin stuff we have here. I grew up a Bills fan, so it's kind of hard for me. I'm probably going to hate me now, but I grew up in upstate New York, man. It's tough, you know. It's tough not to.
Hey, I did not believe in Bills Mafia, so I went down there. That shit.
I've been trying to tell, bro. I'm telling him, like, yo, we got to go to a Bills game. Like, the best tailgate, the Miami tailgate's hard, but the best fucking tailgate in the NFL, I'll tell you. Because it's cold as shit up there, so you better be down and you better be drinking a whole 24 pack if you're gonna go to a Bills game. Those fans get rowdy as hell.
Talking about Miami Heat, exactly how we talk about Miami Heat. You gotta be down to Miami Heat to understand that shit. Bills Mafia, you gotta see that shit.
Bro, there's some crazy. I mean, they don't throw themselves through fucking tables because they're sane up here, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so now I gotta ask, what's the craziest experience that you've had over there at Bills Mafia? What's the craziest thing you experienced yourself or saw?
Man, what was that, my rookie year? Yeah, that was my rookie year. I seen a kid spit on one of our players, bro.
Bro, they don't fuck around, man. They don't fuck around.
So is that serious?
Some gruely people up there, man. Some bristly ass people up there.
Sometimes these fans get crazier than they feel like they're so part of the team. They get crazier than the players.
Bro, some of my cousins go fucking nuts. Go nuts for the Bills. I'm like,
crazy that gonna be.
I'm like, the Bills, for other than, maybe the past year or two, have been trash my entire life. Like, we were too young for those Super Bowls,
Yeah.
to remember. And my cousins are like, this is our year. I'm like, bro, we have fucking JP Lossman as our quarterback. There's no way. There's no way we're not finishing 4th in the division. Are you serious? Like, not a chance. We're winning a game.
Well, it's going to be interesting this year with the division that we got going on here with the Dolphins and the Bills and the Pats and all this stuff. Like, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be fun.
When you're in the game, and you're looking at the defense, right? Who are some of the guys where you're like, oh shit, we got our hands full here? Obviously you got the big names, but like who would surprise you as like, okay, this dude can play, this dude can ball.
Dude, you said the big names, bro, but like I can't even rule out Aaron Donald. Like I can't even like when we played the Rams, I was like, holy shit, bro.
How big is that guy?
He's not. I mean, like he's fucking ginormous, but he's not that tall. But like he's just like a motor. Like it doesn't matter what play it is. He's gonna be back there. He's gonna be trying to get rid of. He's gonna be chasing you down. Like he's doing everything, bro. Like he's in the play, no matter what play it is, bro.
And people don't realize sometimes that these big guys move.
Oh, nowadays, hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah,
guys
they move.
Fly. He can fly, and then his handwork crazy, bro. And then I didn't play in this game, but I was hurt, or I might have COVID. I got COVID and I got hurt like close together. But Buda Baker, Buda Baker grew up with him in Washington. He played for Arizona, and that might be the best football player I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
I do it like run and hit is that like that's him, run and hit. Like he be running downhill. He about as big as me, probably lighter, a little bit lighter, and he come down at free safety from like 20 yards back and trying to take somebody's head off. And he run and hit. That's what I call it, run and hit, bro. And he covered, but like he covered as a running back. All I'm worried about is that he run and hit.
I mean, now bringing it up, like obviously, I was telling you before the podcast, like I went to Syracuse. I was there when Chandler Jones was there, and his older brother. I mean, that whole family, right? It's just like freak athletes. But even Arthur, right? And he went to Cuse. I grew up we had season tickets. Dwight Freeney, Keith Bullock, all those guys, and they can, some big guys moving, man. They come downhill. Woo!
Absolutely. And I feel like now that we're talking about Bobby Wagner, KJ, right? I feel like I've missed a few names, but I can go on. But I feel like Bobby don't. But I feel like those two, Bobby Wagner and I'm from Seattle. But when we played them, I was like, damn, like y'all, because I've been used to watching Seattle from like the little kid point of view.
So you've always been a Seattle fan.
Yeah, I haven't been a Seattle fan, but I've been a Seattle defense fan. When they was the Legion of Boom, I was like. Yeah, like I ain't even played DB, but I was like, fuck it, I might try and play DB this year.
When was this? When you were in high school?
Yeah, when they was cold like that, I was in high school. When they went to back-to-back Super Bowls, when they beat Denver and then lost to
the Pats.
The Pats, yeah, I was in high school.
How do you not hand Marshawn Lynch the fucking ball?
I know. You're right there.
I mean, watching him when he got drafted with the Bills, was like fucking spectacular what that guy can. How do you not hand him the rock if you were in that situation, right? And you were fucking you're in there, you're like, all right, why are we throwing a fucking slant on the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl?
That's a heartbreaker. I'm from Seattle, bro. That's a heartbreaker to talk about. Oh man, but that defense, those guys was ridiculous. Richard Sherm, Earl Thomas, man, those guys were some ballers.
So how does it feel like, when you got out of high school into college and then into the league, facing some of these guys, even though at their older age, but facing some of these guys in their different teams or even some of the ones that remained on the Seahawks, how did it feel like confronting them and facing them? Was this like, holy crap, like I'm facing some guys from the Legion of Boom? Like, how was that?
It was crazy. Like when we played Seattle, like dapping up Bobby and KJ before the game. It's like, bro, like I've seen y'all on like TV my whole life, bro. Like, but I mean, it's the challenge, and in the moment, it's like, hell yeah, we going to war. Like, yeah, like I don't care who it is, but after the time when you watch it on film and like the next day, it's like, man, like I'm on the same field as the dudes that I used to like think was like guys, like damn near. When you 16 and you see like the other guys playing, like damn, I really want to be there. Now that you're here, that's that motivation, and I think that motivated me to just keep going. I mean, I feel like I've been doing the right thing, so I mean, you know what I'm saying? But just to be on the field with some guys that I think will be Hall of Famers, definitely Bobby for sure. Just like, hey, like keep going. And talking to those dudes, telling me to keep going as a young dude, just very inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, you're gonna have two huge fans, you know, cheering you on this season every time you touch the rock, man. You know, I think it's I think it's a perfect time too with kind of everything that's going on in college football now, you know, with the new NIL rules, right? I would love to kind of get your take on how you feel about that. You know, obviously coming from a football background myself, being a part of college football, like seeing the actual work ethic that collegiate football players put in, you know, it's a full-time job on top of having to be a student as well, you know, and go to class, and they really hold you accountable to all that. So, you know, I'd love to get your take on these new rules and, you know, getting some fucking cash in these players' pockets like they deserve.
And to add on, like, I want to see obviously all the pros, and I want to know if you feel there's going to be any cons from this as well.
I don't think anybody getting no money on the back end. But the young dudes, I'm excited for these dudes. Being as fresh out of college as I am, I remember like days like where you have no money, like just like $0 in your bank account, and it's like shit, I can't even go to McDonald's, bro. Like stuff like that. And I think for them to be like, when I was at UW, I'll just speak off of my experience. UW was not good my freshman year, and then we went to the college playoff and played Alabama. We lost that game. But, like, to see how much money was brought to the school just off of how good the football team was, and then to still go to McDonald's, still eat top ramen, stuff like that, it was like it was unsettling at times, but then it's like, oh, we having a good time, we winning games, like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm older, like, you see, like, now I've been in the business of football the last coming up on 3 years, you see how much money that probably brought in, or that did bring in.
For sure.
And that you don't see that these 18 to 21-year-old cats don't get not a dime. I think it's ridiculous. And then I think it will. I mean, the Pac-12 like hasn't been. The Pac-12 hasn't been like that big on football compared to like SEC, Big Ten, and stuff like that. And I think that might like bring kids to stay home. Like we had a kid, the number one kid in the country was out of Washington. He just went to Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? And like with kids being able to get money and stuff like that, maybe these deals will keep some kids at home and stuff like that. Maybe that might make a huge difference. Maybe it might
for sure
even out the playing fields a little bit. Because I mean, you think about it, it's always Alabama, Ohio State, those teams. So maybe this changes. And nothing against those teams, absolutely not. I always want to see the best. Whoever's the best needs to be in the championship and stuff like that. But I think this might bring a new dynasty of college football. Because I mean, like, I don't know, but it's hard to imagine a dude really want to go to Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead to Alabama, but like for real though, like you can go to SC or you can go to like these major cities and live it up like all this stuff on Twitter about like Reggie Bush. If this was going on when Reggie Bush was in SC, man, I mean, like, shoot, he'd be damn near the richest dude on campus, and that's might be richer than your parents and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, I'm excited for it, and above all, I'm just excited to see these kids learning about money, learning how to save money, learning how to take care of people that they care about. Not everybody comes from great backgrounds. Not everybody has money. I was blessed enough to have two parents that could help me out whenever I needed it. I never really tried to reach out. I always had jobs in the summer. I always try to keep a little bit of change in my pocket. But I also have been on the side. I've been roommates with dudes that didn't have necessarily the best background with parents and stuff like that, where they could come in and help. And to see that, it's hard to watch. And now that these guys can provide for themselves, send money back home or whatever it may be, I think it's just good for them. I mean, I'm nothing but just happy for the kids.
Love that. And I want to talk a little bit about this and more in depth because I do think it is a great thing, especially if you have a name to yourself and you've proven yourself, you're working hard to receive reward and to be able to get benefit out of it. It's your name, on the playing field. You're bringing in the fans, you're bringing honor and growth to the school. So definitely you should get rewarded and receive perks off of this and money. Now, on the other side too, for those like talking about some that maybe didn't come from like yourself, parents who can help you or teach you like how to be able to be manageable with your stuff and how to be able to take care of your things. Like, how about the kids who maybe didn't come from anything when they're receiving all this money? What's the best way to approach or advice you can give to those kids so that way they don't also tarnish their career and go crazy with the money they're making and understand that, hey, I still got to lead as football as being my number one purpose to get into the NFL. How do you keep yourself from now getting distracted as well with all this money coming in?
I'll tell them, I haven't thought about that, but that's a good point that you got. I would tell them kids, even the kids that have great backgrounds or whatever it may be, save every dime. Save every dime, bro. It don't matter that you have money or you have money now, but you was already the coolest person on campus. Like, you're a football player. If you're a good football player, you one of the coolest people on campus. You don't need to spend a dime. You can go to your still ratty little college date spot. Your life shouldn't change. You know what I'm saying? Your life shouldn't change. I know it's hard to say as an 18-year-old kid, hey, man, save all your money. But on the back end, you never know when you need it. And then at the end of the day, what are you buying? I mean, you might splurge, buy a nice car or whatever it may be. Don't be a rapper. Don't try and be a rapper. Don't try and live this Instagram, this Twitter lifestyle, because I think that's what will probably happen and people will have to learn the hard way. I hope the schools educate these kids, though. I don't know how they were going to do it. That's their job. Maybe a class, maybe instead of study table every week, maybe 2 days out of the week, hey, you need to sit down all the kids. Maybe it's just all the kids that's big money earners. Maybe that's it. And sit them down and, hey, teach them about money, teach them about how to make their money grow, teach them about everything that can come from money, tell them about all the bad stories and tell them about all the good stories about saving and not saving money. Educate them not to be young and dumb. I mean, people try and live these lifestyles that are a second on Instagram, trying to show off these watches, chains, whatever it may be. And yeah, that's cool. But as a young dude, is that what you need to be doing? I don't think so.
I like that you said that because, I think even Deion Sanders brought something up. He was saying that, it's amazing. He's like, I'm so happy these kids are going to be able to make money off their name and finally they make these changes. He's like, but I really hope that these kids also take some marketing classes or financial classes or go get the help to understand how to save their money, the good, the bad, because I think that is maybe the one con that can be the issue of if they start making all this money, they go down this rabbit hole of like, let me just buy this and then swag out in the IG and the social media. And yeah, it's easy. It's easier to get consumed in the IG game and the cloud and the, especially the male athletes, all the girls, I can get the girls and stuff, so, you saying that yourself, I think that's super important, where it's like, use the money smartly with your name now. You deserve it. Put it away. Use it the right way. Manage it correctly, because at the end of the day too, in sports, you never know. An injury can cost your career. You never know what can happen. Even during your career, like if you build that foundation now as a college student and you're making this money off your name, you can also set yourself up in the future for when you do leave the NFL for your retirement. You build such a strong foundation, you're not worried.
Listen, I saw it at FAU when I was there. I mean, there's nothing to really do in Boca Raton, right? Nothing. And we would see, the freshmen would come in. They didn't really have, obviously, a big budget, not a great program. At the time I was there, it was like pre-Lane Kiffin. And you would see, they would get the freshmen would come in, they get their meal stipend for the summer, and the next day you'd come in and you see half of the freshmen, like, covered in bandages from fucking going and getting like sleeves, and you're like, what do you do? Day one, you thought it'd be a good idea to go get a sleeve with that money? Like, what in the fuck are you about to eat the whole summer? Like, you realize like we're about to beat you down all summer with workouts and sprints and cone drills and all this, and you go ahead and blow that. You have $600 for the summer. and you're going to go ahead and go get some tattoos? Like, come on, man. Come on. We have to, all right, we got to sit you guys down. We got to start talking about,
This
like,
coming from the guy who has a whole bunch of tattoos.
I know, man. But, and listen, I'm telling you right now, like, I took out student loans and some of that money went to tattoos. And now looking back, and I'm like, listen, paying fucking 7% interest on these tattoos.
Learn from the experience.
Stupid ass. Like, kicking myself for that shit, you know?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
It's
man.
bound to happen though. You young and dumb. You young and dumb. Whoever it may be, you gonna make mistakes. It's just that you gotta learn from.
That's right.
That's all it is.
So listen, I gotta ask, if you were at UW right now, how much money you be pulling in?
Oh man. Shit. Man, that's a tough one. Cause I don't know. Cause Florida is like, I think that's why I say Pac-12 versus other places. Like Washington's not really like here. Like football is religion. Like football is like
It's better. It's
shit.
bigger than religion.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? In Washington, I'm still curious of how Washington goes about it. But I can't even put a number on it. I got to see what these dudes bring in because I'm excited to see what they bring in. And Washington's a big money place anyways. Like a lot of like rich people live there. But I'm curious. I'm curious. Well, if they're good too, I don't know. Maybe a lot.
What are some of the brands or companies that you would start going right away being a college student now? Like, who are some of those that you would have targeted?
I seen a couple dudes get signed to Barstool. That's pretty cool.
I was just about to say, but I think Bar. And
Yeah.
you know what I like about them too is that
Vayner too.
you know is the wide array of athletes that these companies are bringing in. Right? It's like the biggest thing that really I think held these universities back from allowing student athletes to be able to go out there and get some compensation for their likeness, right, and for their name was, oh, well, it's all just going to go to football and basketball. None of these other sports are going to be able to get anything. And, you know, it's nice to see that was a huge misconception, right? Yeah. That, you know, if you were if you played women's field hockey or you pay, you know, women's lacrosse, like where I'm from, lacrosse is huge, right? That, you know, you might have, like you said, you might have to find the market to go to now, right? You got to, you know, college athletes are going to really have to start weighing like, where is the best place for me to go
for business and
for school and for sports, right? And you know, back to what you were saying, like allowing some of these home state athletes to stay at home, right? Like for us at Syracuse, like Mike Hart, right? I mean, you obviously know who Mike Hart is. Huge running back, played at Michigan, right? Legend at Michigan, played for the Colts for a little bit and a couple other teams. But he's from Syracuse, you know? Nobody in their fucking right mind ever thought Mike Hart would stay at Syracuse. You know, nobody. Even though we have, you know, the history of all the great running backs, nobody believed he would have stayed. You know, but maybe it would have turned our program around if Mike Hart was there. Maybe we would finally be able to get a quarterback. You know, maybe we would shore up the defense a little bit. So that's really what I'm intrigued to see is how many of these athletes in state actually stay in state and play for some hometown teams. I think, you know, that, like you said, that could really shake up college football, you know, and turn it on its head. And I think that's something to really look out for in the next couple of years.
Yeah. I'm excited for these kids to grow. I like this. It's not, obviously you're going to still get the college experience, but I'm excited for them to make more adult decisions. Because when I was at UW, like my freshman and sophomore year, I was like having fun and like just kind of being dumb, young and fun. But like as you get older, you kind of realize like, yeah, like this is not it. Like I could make money, I could do more things. And I'm excited for kids to kind of flip on that switch as soon as they get in or still in high school. Because I don't think it takes away from the fun of college. I think it just kind of adds on just another aspect of your life that's going to come regardless. Like you're going to have to learn about money regardless in this life. So like, it's bound to happen. And the sooner you learn, the more you're going to end up knowing.
100%. Is there any young athlete in college that you kind of are taking under your wing or that you're friends with or connected with that you kind of give advice to? I know some NFL athletes do that, and I think it's remarkable when you can do that. Is there anybody right now that you're kind of like taking under your wing or just, you know, giving some advice to?
I can't say that I am. I wish I was. My boy Savon is down here with me now. He was like my road dog, and when he was in college, I was like who I was talking to the most, always trying to speak life into him, trying to be positive with him. But now as you say that, I think I need to get more back into UW, talk to some of them young dudes. Obviously, there's still some dudes I played with back there, and we talk just on some how you doing, just catching up. Good luck this year, but I definitely need to reach out a little bit more.
That's awesome. No, the fact, look, I think that it's so important when they can hear from you guys that are in the league. You know, it's still young. You know, you're still young, but in the league, and now you can see it from that, you know, from another perspective. I think it's so important when you do have somebody. You know, we were talking about in our last podcast, like when you have somebody that you can reach out to and have guidance and help, and you know, learn from their experiences. It's a game changer. It's a true game changer.
Right.
Did you ever have that growing up? Did you ever have a pro level athlete that was guiding you or giving you some advice, or even now?
No, I didn't growing up. Now, I talk to as many vets as I can, older vets, like real old vets. It's always good to hear their advice. Sometimes it's just advice that only works for them. But it's good to hear. It's good to see how other people work. It's good to see how other people go about studying things. But growing up, definitely not. I had an older brother, though. My brother's a real smart dude, and he wasn't the biggest sports guy, but he always was teaching me how to work hard and how to like work smart and hard, not just kind of put your head down and run sprints and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when we was in shit, even now, probably to this day, like if I'm doing running back drills, he gonna come outside. Like when we was in Seattle, he was back home with me. Like, I'm doing running back drills. He's like, hey, nigga, you need to do this shit and all this stuff like that. So it's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's helpful. So it's like that type of stuff. So yeah.
I mean, you got to have those people in your corner, right?
Oh,
like
sure.
nobody can do it alone. You know, no matter how much people from the outside may seem to think, you know, that you're standing up on this podium by yourself, or, you know, you're raising that trophy by yourself. It really does come down to, you know, those people in your corner. It's great to hear that you have such a great family there backing you up. You know, it's
take a village.
Yeah, 100%, man. You know, what are you looking forward to the most about this upcoming season? You know, is it getting back with the guys? Is it, you know, working hard, working towards this ultimate goal of, you know, getting into the playoffs, getting to the, you know, the AFC Championship and into the Super Bowl? What would you say is like the number one thing that you're most anxious about, that you're, you know, chomping at the bit to get back to?
First day of camp, man. I'm ready to get back out there. Definitely get back with the guys. Obviously, games and stuff, but I mean, camp. I love camp. Just working with your dudes, you grinding and you competing every day with the same dude, and I think that builds. First off, it builds bond in the team, and then it builds rivalries too. And I think that pushes you. I mean, like, you lose one day, you be like, all right, yep, that we're going to have one-on-ones tomorrow. Or somebody make you, like, as a defender, if somebody make you miss, you're going to be like, yep, I'm coming after you tomorrow, or whatever it may be. And it's all out of just being a competitor. You know what I'm saying? It's not out of, like, oh, I'm going to get that person. Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm pushing myself to be the best. And I think that's only in camp when you can really get that. Because, I mean, in the league, once the season starts, you don't hit like that. You don't do a lot of things. A lot of it's just mental, trying to be easy on your body so you prepare for Sunday. And like I said, obviously I love the game and stuff like that. But the soonest thing coming up is camp, and I love camp. Just the heat, just kind of seeing who's the man or who's the mouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go, let's fight.
Healthy competition, healthy competition.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories that they say that, man, even some of those camp, 7-on-7s or like, scrimmages get even more intense in some of these games against some of these other teams.
Hell yeah. Like, if the defense is kicking the offense's ass 2 days in a row, the defense going to come out there the third day ready to fight somebody. First play, you know what I'm saying? And if the defense kicking the offense's ass a couple days in a row, you going to try and crawl in somebody's ass. Like, man, what the hell going on, bro? Like, we need to bring our shit together. And then shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that, like you said, healthy competition. And it just pushes guys to be the best they possibly can, especially when if you going at the same dude every single day, man. I don't know. It just brings something out of you. So when the season starts, it's like you already full gear, ready to go, ready to knock somebody else's head off.
That's it.
Because you already been hitting this dude, like 1,000 times in this last month. You know what I'm saying?
Love it. And who's one person you would like to see standing out this year in your team now going into practice?
You said like a big season, or
like in your training camp, like who's one guy you would like to really like see come up?
Jerome Baker, linebacker. I mean, like, it's just like the regular running back versus linebacker stuff. I mean, it's just the dude that you go against the most. Any linebacker over there. I'm excited for that competition for sure. But I'm excited to go against everybody, the DBs and team settings and the safeties, making dudes miss, trying to trying to work on my game. If dudes get me down the ground, I'm asking them, hey man, what am I not doing to make you miss? How can I make you slow down? What can I make you stutter? That's another thing. You can work on your game. It's your teammate. He wants to see you succeed just as much as you want to succeed. So when it comes to Sundays, we out there rolling.
Love that.
Well, I told you before, but you know, you got two huge fans, you know, rooting for you, and if you see some people getting rowdy as fuck in the stands next year, you know who it is, right?
Look, I went last year to the game that you guys played the Rams, which was Tua's first debut. That was a hell of a game. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
So
listen, if you see a guy and you're like, man, is he wearing a sweater here? That's him. And then I'll be the guy, getting hyped as fuck. So
that's it.
You know, we expect some big things out of you down here in Miami, man. You know, we're all rooting for you. Nothing like a Dolphins game, you know, to bring that Miami community together. Like I said, you know, Bill's tailgate is one thing, but you know, the fans of Miami, they love the team and they love to see you guys succeed, and you know, we're definitely rooting for you, and
especially with this team.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of potential, and you know, you guys just got to put in the work. We believe in you for sure, and whole city's gonna be rooting for you.
All right, y'all. Appreciate that.
Hell yeah, man. And brother, where can people reach out to you, connect with you, and if there's anything else that you're working on besides football that you want to plug in here as well, please go ahead.
You can reach out to me in just Instagram. I'm not on Instagram a ton, but I do look through it from time to time. I try my best to stay off social media a ton.
In those flashcards.
Yeah, flashcards, man. But me and my boy created a clothing line in Seattle. It's mainly Seattle stuff right now, just kind of where he is. He does a lot of the making, the clothes, printing, all this stuff. But it's called Ham Seattle. It's on my Instagram. It's a mental health clothing brand. It was based off of my friend was going through a mental health stint, and he was able to create this logo, this clothing brand that brought him joy, brought me joy, brought like a lot of my friend groups joy. He started it. He plays for UW now. He's a punter. It started off kind of giving it to guys just in the locker room, and then you know, people ask where you got that, and then it became a clothing brand, and that's kind of the biggest thing I'm working on right now, just trying to help that grow. Definitely in Washington, hopefully bring it out to Florida soon. But that's probably the biggest thing. And just, reach out to me on Instagram if you got any questions for me. Real questions, not stupid things. I'm not responding to stupid things, but
you guys heard it.
Yeah.
Love it, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that truly. And again, we're truly excited to watch you play on the big screen and in person and rooting you guys on. And you know, if there's anything that we can do to help, we're here to help and support you and your brand and you as an athlete, man. So really appreciate that. The way we like to end it on the podcast always is, what is the biggest piece of advice you can leave off to all our listeners today in one sentence?
One sentence. Prove it to yourself. Prove it to yourself. Go out every day and prove it to yourself.
There's nobody else out there that you can prove it more to than yourself.
100%. 100%. Appreciate you again. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Thanks everybody who's listening. Till next time, guys. Peace.
Peace.